So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. As you can tell, totally out of form, not prepared, spitballing, but I'm also laying down in bed. And I am strangely not depressed, although I'm having depressing thoughts. It's interesting. Um, this is the kind of stuff that you go through. So depression is not just feeling sad or even feeling like hopeless or despair. Sometimes it's just feeling numb or just like indifferent. And right now, I kind of feel indifferent with a little tinge of peace that in the end, everything is going to work out and that I will be fine. And I don't give in anymore to that spiral. But it's so tempting to sometimes because you just get so tired of it. I made a post on Facebook saying, I wonder if anybody else thinks or ponders just how many more years they have left to endure the human experience. It gets exhausting, and it gets boring. The same thing over and over again. You wake up, it's another day. You get up and you have your coffee, make something to eat. Maybe you just jump right into work if you work from home, or you go out and just go to your job and you work, and then maybe you don't eat until lunch or even dinner. Some people can do that. God bless you, I can't. I have an appetite. So I'll eat breakfast and I'll do my work. And sometimes it's slow. So I'll be, reading something or surfing the web or watching a video. And then the time actually goes slower. So I actually appreciate when there's work to do. So I do work, and when it's busy, time goes by quicker. I can eat less because I'm not bored. And then, after work, 5 o'clock hits, and it's like, all right, well, now what do I do? Well, I guess I can go to the gym. I went to play softball today. We lost again. We won one game out of the past maybe 12 or 13 I've played. And I think we've only won like 3 games of this is my third season playing. I think I've only won 3 games and 3 different teams. But anyway, I'm kind of mumbling on about that, rambling on. But, I try to find stuff to do, fill my day with. And then, a lot of my day is spent, searching for a partner. To be quite honest with you, I'll be on dating apps. Um, feel like there's some kind of void to fill there, but not just a void. I mean, there's a void because I'm lonely, obviously, I'm a single guy, but there's also that there is genuinely a part of me that wants to share my life with somebody because I do have genuine interests and passions. But when you spend a lot of time working on that and end up empty, you get disillusioned, and also you wonder what to do with your life. Being alone in isolation, it becomes a drag after a while. And I'm not complaining, oh, I need a girlfriend or, a partner. It's more just a relationship experience. I just have a very small amount of it. And I can play the part. I'll go to a softball game and I'll just be myself and I'll be jovial and humorous. Maybe a little obnoxious sometimes, but they love it. you know, I feel like I'm more comfortable in my own skin as I get older. But at the same time, I get tired of the game. I just wish we could, all just come together and just be ourselves and, be vulnerable, but at the same time have fun and be ourselves and just, talk about what our passions are and share our passions and not be weird, you know? I guess I just want somebody to be weird with and be myself with. I mean, who really doesn't? I mean, I'm not normal. That's for dang sure. I mean, who does videos laying in bed for their channel? But I just want to do something a little different, because I just get to the point where I just wish, and this is going to sound completely morbid and depressing, maybe even suicidal, but it's really not, guys. I'm totally fine. I'm just pondering, how much more of this life do I have to deal with? I mean, it'd be kind of cool if I just went to bed and woke up, in heaven or in the mansion worlds if you read the Adventure book. Um, I'm kind of done with it. It gets old, same routine day in, day out and I try different things and, with limited success. And there are certain things that I think I do pretty well. Like I'm pretty savvy and I have certain skills, that like that movie. What's that movie, that cult classic movie? He's got nunchuck skills. I can't even remember the name of the movie, so anyway. Um Something dynamite. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at. I have things that I feel like I'm genuinely good at, like not like patting myself on the back and trying to impress somebody. I have skills. Everybody has a set of skills. Everybody has a character they've been given with pros and cons, weaknesses and strengths. And at this point, I'm 37. I know what my strengths are, and I definitely know what my weaknesses are. And my weaknesses are definitely getting tunnel vision on routines and things that I do to try to get into relationships. And it can become an addiction. And I have an addictive personality, and thankfully, I haven't gotten too out of control with certain things, like, for example, alcohol. And I refuse to try hard drugs because I know that if I like it, I might get addicted to it. So the only thing I do is drink alcohol, and I use a plant called kratom. I don't smoke weed because I had a bad experience with that. Don't do any other drugs. And I just try to have some self-control over how much food I eat, because I do struggle with my weight. I've lost a lot of weight over the past year, but I still have a lot to go. And that's another thing too, is like getting down on myself unnecessarily, even though I've had so much success. Like, I feel like I should be a lot better. When you see other people like child prodigies and like geniuses, you really feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel sometimes, or lower down the totem pole than you'd like to be, as far as the human character strengths, the potential of a human character and what the strengths can be. You feel like kind of lower down. And I know that I have so much going for me, living in America, having a great paying job in the IT field. But sometimes I have this imposter syndrome. Like, if they really knew how good I am at what I actually do, would they trust me with this position? So I have to struggle with that. But all that stuff is, normal everyday struggles I think most humans go through. So I'm not saying this to like say, oh, I'm dealing with something worse than somebody else. I already went through that. I went through a dark night of the soul. And that is the worst experience a human can go through. Besides maybe torture at a torture chamber. That might be worse. But if you've gone to the dark night of the soul, you've already dealt with the worst life has for you, for the most part, at least spiritually and emotionally and mentally. So I'm never going back there. So that's what keeps me, back to the beginning of this video. It will be so easy to spiral. I'll be standing there in the kitchen, and just tempted to pout and moan about my loneliness and my lack of strengths and my abundance of weaknesses that I have, my human frailties. But I just go, you know what? Screw it. How many more years of this life do I have to live? Well, I'm 37. I probably won't live, I definitely won't live triple that. Maybe double that, 2.5 times that, or maybe I'll get lucky and die in my sleep, And those sound like extremely morbid thoughts to someone who maybe is happy, or at the other end of the extreme, someone who's super depressed. But when you're like, in a spiritual level, like, I don't really believe we die. Like, obviously, I know we pass on to a greater existence. So I don't mean that like in a sense of like, I hope I die. I mean, I just hope I hope that I'm almost done with whatever lessons I have to learn here sometimes, that I'm ready to move on, because I'm sick and tired of this freaking game that we have to play as humans. It's just, I'm just kind of done with it, and so I say, well, if I'm going to have to endure this life, I'm going to do the things that I like. And if I just feel like laying in bed right now and doing a video for my YouTube channel, that's what I'm going to do, Or if I feel like having a couple beers one night, or if I take into some other, entertainment, like playing video games or watching videos or whatever, like, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to feel bad about it, because this life is hard. Living the human life is hard. You know, I think the bravest souls, the bravest spirits signed up for this job. You know, we're so brave, we took away our ability to remember that we made the decision in the first place, or that we even had a previous existence, or that we have a place to go after this life. Because none of us really have any proof, unless you've had a near-death experience or a spiritual transcendent experience. None of us got proof. I don't have proof. I'm just going by what somebody else told me, what resonates with me. But I really don't know. We're all just guessing, really. You know, we're going with what makes us feel good. And I'm honestly, you know, I've had debates with atheists and agnostics, and you know, they say that, you know, science can never prove God, and they're right. I could point to an intelligent designer, but it can't prove God. And even if it could prove God, it couldn't prove that God is benevolent or has a plan for us. You know, some highly advanced alien civilization could be playing a game and putting all these different, you know, seemingly sentient beings inside of a matrix, for all I know. You know, but that doesn't make me feel good. What makes me feel good is believing in a loving God. You know, and in the end, I would think a loving God would want us to feel good. And if thinking that makes me feel good, well, that's my spiritual connection, really. That's my logical thought process. Putting one and one make two, you know? That's really all I can give you, you know? And if it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. Don't think it. Don't ponder it, you know? So, ironically, that thought that I had, as morbid as it sounds, it gives me peace, because I know this is not going to last forever. I know this is just a bridge. You know, we're not meant to build a life here, or I should say build a house here, you know, that's going to last forever. It's just a bridge to cross over to a better existence, you know? At least that's kind of roughly paraphrasing what Jesus said in the Urantia book. So, yeah, that's it. So, this is just one of those days where I'm just not super enthused about being a human. And it's okay. You know, I'm allowed to. Anyways, hope this video has been somewhat helpful or somewhat meaningful. But I'm going to sign off now and check you guys out later. Thanks. God bless.